Hi there and welcome back to the Catalyst channel. So, this year, again, many fires have raged across the world. Authorities are quick to tell us this is a sign of rising temperatures. Global warming is finally here and climate change is to blame. But we must not forget that the climate change agenda is being pushed hard, and we must accept that this is the reality of the situation and it needs to be dealt with. Wildfires have raged and ravaged the planet, but is there something more sinister and preordained going on here? We're going to take a look at some news clips and articles from around the world and see what we think about all the fires in the face of the climate change agenda. Are these natural fires, like they have us believe, or are the newspapers giving away secrets in the way they pose these articles and the ongoing narrative? First, we'll go to a news clip from Spain and check that out.
Authorities in Spain believe a fresh round of wildfires was deliberately lit. More than 8,000 hectares has been scorched near the Portugal border, which has resulted in around 600 villages being evacuated. Strong winds and warm temperatures are hampering firefighter efforts. Spain's government says it's providing ongoing support to affected residents.
So there you go, straight away she's saying arson. And now look at this shot from Spain, from The Guardian. It looks pretty plotted out from that angle. How come it doesn't ravage every single bit? It seems to be in sort of a coordinated line across this mountainside here. Doesn't seem very natural. And yeah, questions have really got to be asked about this. And now this is a shot from Italy, again from the news. This was from Calabria, and on this occasion this guy has been caught setting fires, which we can see just blazing in behind him there. And obviously he's been caught out by this drone, and because he's guilty, he starts throwing stones at the drone to try and break it. Yeah, you know, if you love your world, why do you go and burn trees, forests? I don't really understand that. And he is riding off, and this picture shows now where the few plots where he has been caught setting fires, and a bit more near the end there you can really see the damage done. And this bit of footage is from last year in Italy again, and again it's just one man who's been caught setting a fire. He did get caught, luckily, but when you see the damage done at the end of this little shot, you know, you might just suspect that there was more than one man involved. And the question is, why? Look at that, complete devastation. Look at that, firefighters have dealt with 44,000 wildfires in Italy since 15th of June last year. Now we're going to go to some news clips from Canada.
Well, this morning, New Yorkers are once again being urged
this
to
will
prepare
reiterate
for smoke from the wildfires
the damage
in western
done.
Canada. Air quality health advisories are being issued for the entire state as winds are expected to carry a smoky haze to the northeast yet again this week. Now, it comes as Canada is experiencing its worst fire season on record. About 25 million acres have burned so far this year.
Unbelievable.
They come all the way from America's southwest.
25 million acres. What a disgrace.
Well, welcome to Quebec.
Now here in northern Quebec's scorched lands, joining hundreds of other American and international firefighters, doing what they can to slow wildfires that just won't quit.
At this point, we're just trying to secure the edge and make sure that the communities are safe.
The Silver State Hotshot crew is looking for hotspots. They are firefighting crews specially trained and skilled, now taking on Canada's record-breaking wildfires.
I know you're from Montana, big
Record-breaking.
sky country, but this was a big fire. This
Yeah.
is big territory.
In the scope for us in the States, this would be one of the largest fires ever to occur in the
There you
United
go.
States. So yeah, it's a gigafire.
The total area burned in
Gigafire.
Canada already has shattered records. Now 10 million hectares, that's almost 25 million acres, an area nearly as large as the state of Ohio, and still burning.
Can you believe that? And wow, how much? Okay, now this next clip's very interesting because actually it's on the Canada News, and they're clearly, you know, they've got an investigative journalist on.
There's a lot of people out there
debunk it.
who are looking at these fires and who see an alternate explanation. A lot
It's
of
got
them
some
point to
interesting
arson,
points to
right?
make.
There's some folks out there who just don't want to accept that climate change is part of the explanations. You go higher up this sort of food chain and you see some conspiracy theorists who believe that there is a deeper plot, that there's folks out there who are using these fires to advance their climate agenda. There's folks who believe that the government set these fires.
And is this a small group of people, a large group of people?
We're talking about hundreds of thousands, probably more like millions of people who are at the very least listening to and engaging with these influencers and conspiracy theorists. A lot of this disinformation is taking place on Twitter, but also alternative social media platforms like Rumble and Telegram. It is a significant enough group of people that we should probably be concerned at the proliferation of some of this misinformation. On the Rebel, you have
Millions of people?
alarmist story that
How
said,
come?
well, Nova Scotia RCMP blame arson for
How come there's so many
multiple
articles about
wildfires?
it?
And the Rebel basically pushing the idea that there was somebody individual responsible for all these fires. They later had to correct this story as the RCMP clarified that those fires had nothing to do with the wildfires, that arson was not responsible for the forest fires in Nova Scotia.
In the absence of people telling us, of authorities telling us what actually has been happening here, I can understand that other theories flow in.
Yeah, so you're seeing some folks, particularly on TikTok, where a lot of this stuff is going incredibly viral, pointing out that a lot of the fires started almost around the same time, and they're seeing a conspiracy in that coincidence.
All of southeast Quebec just caught on fire, guys. All of it.
So that's the satellite image.
Yeah, that's right. So what he's pointing out here is that all of these fires have started more or less around the same time in different parts of the province, and basically concluded there has to be a conspiracy there behind it.
So the thing about all of this, I'm not a scientist, you're not a scientist.
Definitely not.
Fortunately, we have Johanna Wagstaff standing by, Earth
Here
scientist,
comes our debunking
meteorologist,
scientist.
seismologist. She is on top of all of it. So.
Oh, absolutely, sure she is.
Hey, Joe.
Hi, Adrian.
Thank you for jumping on board with us. We've been talking about the suggestion that a lot of them have been started by arson, or all of them, some are suggesting. And there's this video that appears to show a whole bunch of fires starting at once in Quebec. People are taking that as evidence that, see, all these fires were set. I know you've been looking closely at that. What is the actual story there?
This satellite imagery is actually really common after lightning ignited fires. A cold front comes through about 24 hours before that looped imagery and sparks new hotspots. But because the lightning comes with rain, they're kind of smoldering, and the fuels have been so dry in this part of the country that they're able to hunker down until about sort of 18 hours later, when you get that strong daytime heating, the sunshine, those fuels dry out, and they all sort of hit that critical threshold at the same time, and they take off. And the afternoon winds kick in, carrying the flames and the smoke in the same direction. But yeah, we see this all the time after lightning ignited storms.
A lot of people have really honed in on these images of helicopters and aircraft, in some cases drones, basically raining sparks down, and have pointed to this as proof that it's not just
She looks
arson,
worried.
it's the government's
She
plan
knows it's
of
coming.
arson. What are we watching when we see these videos?
So these are our old videos from previous, what we call controlled or prescribed burns, and this is a really
Okay, if that's true, why don't they
important
do that
part
before all
of
these wildfires have occurred
preemptive
this
fire
year?
season. This is what fire crews do before the fire season gets started, to burn off the really dry fuels and create these natural breaks. So when the fires come through, they run into these pre-burned areas and can't move any farther.
Yeah, just to point out, we all know about that. It's a really old technique, and if they know that this is going to happen, then how come we've got all these absolutely huge forest fires?
Okay, Johanna, listen, thanks very much for helping us through this. We appreciate it.
Anytime.
What is the play here? What is the point of making these arguments?
Right. I think really fundamentally it's to give somebody who doesn't want to accept the official narrative something to hold on to, right? And some of these ideas are quite prolific online. I mean, you even hear some of it show up on Fox News. This is Janine Pirro talking about how they might use this to bring back mask
And
mandates.
while Americans choke on the smoke, the far left smells an opportunity. AOC thinks this is a great time to push.
Exactly. Look, between New York City and wildfire, it bears repeating how unprepared we are for the climate crisis. We must adapt, blah, blah, blah. Such an agenda.
Green New Deal, other Democrats are pumping up climate hysteria and bringing back, you guessed it, mask insanity.
This is the idea that you can kind of bring a lot of the paranoia that was prevalent during the pandemic and use it around climate change. It's a surprisingly popular idea online.
Are you taking any larger lessons out of this or interpretations out of this whole experience there?
Yeah, I mean, clearly we need governments and in some cases the media who are more effectively communicating both the science and the conditions and the reality and engaging with some of these conspiracy theories more directly, right? I think the only way to convince people, to win them over, is to give them the information, to treat them like adults, to talk to them like smart people, because a lot of the people who are out there spreading these conspiracy theories have done a lot of research.
Yes, they might have done a lot of research, and that's why they've come to the conclusion that they have, and that's why authorities are being questioned over this sort of stuff. Okay, now we're going to go to that clip that actually shows you.
Quebec just caught on fire, guys. All of it. Insane. Insane.
Watch that. Look, watch how they all
Look at that.
There you go.
The whole thing.
There you go. What, they all start at the
once.
same minute?
Today,
Highly suspicious.
and this is on top of Nova Scotia,
We've got
New
more
Jersey,
footage
and
coming that's
the
going to show
entire
this
western
out.
side of Canada burning.
Okay. Now let's go to Greece. This small clip is from last year. And this one is from this year. This is really obvious. Look at this. You can literally see people walking in a huge group, setting fires throughout this place in Greece. Look at them. And actually, note, yeah, there's quite a few people here. Some people seem to be protesting it, like that woman and her kid. And look at that. Look at the devastation these people are causing. What are they doing? To what end? Look, they're singing. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? They're happy about that, are they? Seems a bit ritualistic and a bit strange to me. Climate crisis, global warming, evidence is suggesting something else. Look at them all. Look, they're all wearing black. They've all got white on them, on their hoods as well. Very, very odd. In fact, let's watch that again. Look, he's setting a fire, putting stuff on it to make sure it gains momentum. And look in the background, there's fire everywhere. To what end are these people doing this exactly? Are they being paid off to do this, maybe? These questions need to be asked. certainly not looking like a lightning strike caused it. Has a volcano gone off? I don't think so. How else is this being caused? Well, this footage really is the most obvious thing you could ever see. Now we know this is a conspiracy to create the climate change agenda for them to pull the strings how they want. Now we're just going to quickly go on the internet and have a little look at some pages that I found. Like here, Canada wildfires spark eco-terrorist conspiracy theory. You can have a read through all these pages if you like, find them online. Look here, I bet a good portion of the wildfires raging across the country were started by green terrorists who want to give their climate change campaign a little boost, said Maxime Bernier, a former foreign minister. Yeah, someone in a high up place is telling you that there's some activists playing a role in this. On purpose to push a climate change agenda. There is a possibility eco-terrorists may be behind them. Okay. Next. Must be coordinated arson. Canada wildfire conspiracy claims goes viral as satellite video sparks wild theories. Very wild, isn't it? When you start looking at the evidence, it's pretty obvious something's going on. Hawaii wildfires. Now, in a minute, we're going to go to History Debunked, and he's going to give us his little speech about all this, and we'll see what he says. And a few of these articles I've pulled up, he will be talking about. So, this was from last year in July. 600 people under investigation for arson in Portugal alone. Yeah. Unbelievable. And another one here. Look at the headline even. Most fires in Greece were started by human hand, government says. Official blames negligence or arson for majority of 667 blazes that spread in extreme heat. They might as well just use 666 there, really, eh? I'm not going to go through and actually read it all now, but you are welcome to research this stuff yourself. And funnily enough, the day I saw the Greece fires video and then the Canada debunking news report, I also acknowledged a few other little things to do with this. Like when I got to work, the first song on the radio was this one by Billy Joel. We Didn't Start the Fire. It was then followed by Burn Baby Burn. Don't know who that was written by, I didn't look that one up. But again, I suggest people go and look at the lyrics for this song, 'cause it's telling you quite a few things here. Just before I leave you with History Debunk's chat about this, just want to show you, this is my channel, Catalyst Conspiracies, and I want to talk about algorithms just for a moment. And it's quite clear to me that my videos are being kept on a low algorithm deliberately because of what I'm talking about, like electric vehicle safety. Literally, you know, these videos are showcasing you just how dangerous they are, and this is another front that the global elites are trying to push, and you just see how dangerous it is. And the weather in the UK, yeah, chemtrails. We'll do something on that soon because it's happening all the time again. And this one's a very important one, I think. It's only had 16 views, but it's really worth a mention. The fact that the FDA approved GM meat labs and at the same time they've been closing farms and killing off hundreds of thousands of cattle in Ireland. And here we have one about another toxic spill, which was inadvertently predicted by a Netflix movie a few months previous to the actual event. So, you know, it just goes to show there's lots going on in the world, and there are agendas behind these. And we need to read between the lines and actually see for ourselves what's going on. Don't let authority tell you what they think. You have to make up your own mind, okay? So now we're going to finish this off with the history debunked clip.
Over the last month or two, there have been many fires in Europe. That the Secretary General of the United Nations was prompted to claim that we have now entered the age of global boiling. Newspapers and the television news were full of images of fires in various countries, and they were explicitly linked to climate change. Now, the same thing is happening in Hawaii. Of course, if we just stop for a moment to consider the matter, we will soon see that there are only two ways that wildfires can start naturally in the world when the weather is hot and sunny. One of these natural causes is erupting volcanoes, and the other is lightning strikes. There have not been any reports of active volcanoes coming to life in Europe this summer, and the weather has been dry, without all that many thunderstorms. This means that any fires which we have seen must have been started by people. This is quite obvious, but I haven't seen it mentioned at all in the mainstream media, which is odd. Still, it might be that global warming has made everything so dry that any man-made accidental spark will make a forest flare up like a tinderbox. Perhaps. But what is providing these sparks which are setting fire to grassland and trees? Are they all escaping accidentally from some man-made activity? The answer is, of course, they're being caused by arsonists. A lot of them. There were a lot of wildfires in Portugal last year as well, which was not quite the record-breaking year for temperatures that we are told that 2023 is. I wonder if anybody would care to guess how many arsonists the Portuguese police were investigating last July when we were seeing a lot of fires there, almost as many as this year. I will tell you, they were hunting for 600 arsonists. These were the people who caused all the wildfires in Portugal last year. In the description to this video, I give a link to a news item about this from last year. It was published on July the 18th, and we read that approximately 600 people have been placed under investigation over suspicions of deliberately setting fires in Portugal, which has been engulfed by a scourge of fires for more than a week, the country's police said. It continued, the Portuguese broadcaster found that dozens of probable perpetrators of arson in forests and wasteland had been arrested by Monday, while many more are still on the loose. Police statistics show that this year services have already detained 54 arsonists, some of whom have criminal pasts and have served sentences for setting fires in forests. The latest arsonist was apprehended by Portuguese services in the district of Leiria, in the centre of the country, where several thousand hectares of forest and grassland have burned for more than a week. Strangely, there is no mention of climate change being connected with all the wildfires last summer. Curious, no? What about all these wildfires this summer that everybody is telling us are connected in some obscure way with climate change? I also give a link to a piece in The Guardian about the many fires in Greece last month. Let me quote. Vasilis Kikilias, the Greek Minister of Climate Crisis and Civil Protection, told reporters, during this time 667 fires erupted. That is more than 60 fires a day, almost all over the country. Unfortunately, the majority were ignited by human hand, either by criminal negligence or intent. Kikilias said that in certain places, blazes had broken out at numerous points in close proximity at the same time, suggesting the involvement of arsonists intent on spreading fires further. Can you see what it is yet? What about Corfu, which received a lot of coverage for the fires there? I give a link to a piece in The Independent on July the 26th this year, which tells us that arsonists are being blamed for devastating wildfires that have swept through the Greek island of Corfu. Corfu Mayor Yorgos Maharamaris claimed on Monday that an arsonist started the fires which have sparked mass evacuations. There is something more than a little odd about this. It appears that everybody, even those working for newspapers like The Guardian, which are fanatically in favour of blaming climate change for everything, know perfectly well that the dreadful fires are caused by arsonists and not climate change. They are afflicted, though, with some weird kind of split personality. On the one hand, they report the arson, and then in the editorial columns, the blame is laid at the door of climate change. We can see this process at work today very clearly with the news that there are wildfires in the Hawaiian island of Maui. I give a link to an article about this from today's Guardian, and it says, the climate crisis driven by fossil fuel use is increasing the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, including wildfires like the one Maui is grappling with. Seriously, are they saying that volcanoes or thunderstorms have triggered the wildfire there? If not, then how has the climate crisis set fire to anything in Hawaii? There is no doubt that these arsonists have been very helpful to climate change enthusiasts because the films of burning forests and homes destroyed by fire have been very useful in promoting an atmosphere of emergency and panic. Making the news look like a clip from a disaster movie is not a bad thing if you want to get people on side. Were those arsonists acting alone, though, or were they encouraged to start a lot of fires simultaneously? There is no doubt that some of them are what you might call professional fire raisers, who do the thing for the love of, starting fires. That is to say, they have form for starting big fires in the countryside. Have environmentalists been paying them to set more fires than usual? I've heard a rumour to this effect, but there is no evidence to speak of. Either way, we can be pretty sure that all the wildfires we have seen on the news this year are the work of humans, rather than natural causes precipitated by global warming. Whenever you see a wildfire, always ask yourself this simple question. Has a volcano erupted nearby, or has there been a thunderstorm? If the answer is no, then you're looking at a man-made fire.
Okay, thanks. Please do like, subscribe and share my channel and videos. Thank you for watching.